Yo guys, what's going on? Acez is here today with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the potential of Escape from Tarkov coming to console either in the near or far future. Guys, do me a favor, make sure you're dropping a like on this video, and of course, make sure you're subscribing to the channel. This video is inspired by the comment section on the last video, perfect time for single player mode, so make sure you check out that video. You can follow along with the conversation there. And at the same time, get involved if you are interested. Now, of course, keep it civil. The guys in there up to this point have been pretty civil, at least in my opinion. So we're going to hop into the comment section right now. So we have Shmurda and Killa who have been kind of going back and forth, and I got to show my roses to both of them, man, because they've both been subscribed for over a year. Thank you both for support. You guys don't got to agree on everything, man, but I do like seeing the conversation in the comments. I do appreciate the engagement at the same time on the video, and, you know, at the end of the day, both of you, I appreciate both of you. Let's hop into it. Shmurda started it off. If Tarkov came to console, it'd change the game for him. Obviously, they don't have the means or team size, but it'd be wild. And then Killa responded, taking Tarkov to console is like an armless person trying to fly a plane. Unless they new to the game, make it a lot less complicated, which would ruin the game, making it not unique and pointless. It would never happen. So before we check out any replies, I just want to touch on both their points. I think if Tarkov came to console, they would dominate the extraction market right now. I think the only options on console that are anything decent are 2042 Hazard Zone and probably Call of Duty's DMZ mode that's going to be coming out, which is just Warzone without the circle, and they added extractions. That's literally it. I think the console market just doesn't have an extraction looter shooter available to it that's decent enough and has incentives to play. Tarkov would dominate on console, and I even think it would dominate regardless of how stripped down it does get. Now, moving into Killa's comment, I think it's absolutely 100% a fact that they would have to dumb down Escape from Tarkov on console. And we're going to talk about what I think is more likely to happen a little bit later into the comments here. But the fact that you just wouldn't be able to check your magazine and just the little things, you know, clear a weapon jam. Like, let's be honest, if Tarkov's on console, it would never see PC servers. It would never see any of us that play the game normally now. It would just be kind of like hired ops, but just maybe a little more advanced. I mean, I can't see it being that complex. You just wouldn't be able to do probably like 75% of the shit that you can do right now on PC. You just wouldn't be able to do it. And who knows if the game would even run. I mean, you would have to really, really compress that game to make it run on console. It barely runs on our PCs, and we have some of the best equipment. I mean, half of us who have, you know, 30 series and potentially even a 40 series GPU now can still barely run Lighthouse. Yeah, console's a little iffy, but I think there's great points on both sides getting right into it. Shmurda replied, Nikita himself said December 2021 on his end of the year podcast he intends to bring it to console. Not major focus right now with stability issues, arena, and streets. So your comment's literally pointless. His comment wasn't pointless, and I think intends was the wrong word here, but we'll get back into that. And then we had Papa. Nikita's known to lie like a lot. That is a fact. Maybe even 65% of everything he has said is a lie, thus making your comment invalid. Besides that, imagine this. Tarkov needs an entire keyboard for all the actions you can make in that game. Now, how do you think a gamepad with 14 buttons can cover all the actions EFT has? Your dream is nice, never going to happen, but nice. You know what? I gotta really agree. I mean, like I already mentioned, there's not really a way you cannot strip down Tarkov for console, and this comment is pretty accurate in saying that Nikita lies. Nikita loves to troll, he loves to lie, he loves to keep us on our toes. I mean, who expected streets by the end of this year? Or is it just not going to happen? See, that's where Nikita gets you. You really don't know, even if it came from the man himself. So Killa responded here. If he does go through with it, it's literally the end for Tarkov. There's just too many mechanics for console. Cut it, and you're ruining what makes it special. Don't cut it, and the game is literally impossible. I don't think it's the end for Tarkov, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of truth in this comment as well. Too many mechanics for console, absolutely. And if you do cut them out, you are going to ruin a lot of the little tiny things. Usually it's the small things that make a game great. And if you cut them out, then obviously it's not going to be as immersive. It's not going to be as great. So I agree there. I think the game with all those mechanics on console, you know, if there's some way you can press triangle, square, and X to check your magazine, sure, but I don't know. So Killa also responded again. He said, can you point me to a source? I couldn't find anything to suggest that he mentioned it. Now, this is where I kind of replied. Sometimes I read these long threads that some of you guys talk about, but usually I don't. Usually I stay out of it. But I was like, okay, you know, Nikita has said stuff about this. So I said not to barge in the argument, but Nikita did mention, for example, if PlayStation wanted to make an offer, he would accept it. I believe it was in a podcast a long way back. Who knows if he was being serious, though? Maybe he was just looking for leverage. So the way I looked at this was, if Nikita says one little mention of console, it's like, hey, I'm open to this. You know, PlayStation hears that, sees the massive success of Escape from Tarkov. They send Battlestate Games an offer. Hey, here's $50 million. Give us exclusive rights, exclusive content to Escape from Tarkov. We'll dumb it down. We'll do all the work. I'm sure Nikita would accept that in a heartbeat. You know, 50 mil and, you know, all that, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, he did mention it. I saw the podcast. I was watching it live. So I didn't know which podcast it was, but I remember specifically Nikita mentioning about console. So Schmurda replied to the other guy, also defensive about this shit. It's laughable. I don't care if it goes to console. I just repeated what Nikita has said. If he lies, it makes him a liar, not me. Your comment's hilarious. You know, that's an accurate comment right there. So moving down the list, Schmurda said thank you to me. It was December 2021 podcast, less than a year ago. But again, thank you. So if that was the podcast, then that was it. And that would probably line up to when I was already making content and making sure I'm watching the entire podcast to make content for it. So that makes sense. Now, here was a really good comment and kind of an underrated one here. They would probably implement a native mouse and keyboard support. A lot of games on Xbox support it. Now, I think if they would do this, there would just have to be some sort of limitation in the game. I think that's probably the best bet if they wanted to release Escape from Tarkov as a whole game on console. I think you would just have to make a player play it on a keyboard and mouse. I really don't think a gamepad is possible. And if you would separate the two, I just don't know how you would do it, because every single player on a controller would just get absolutely dominated. So I think it's a great point, but at the same time, I just don't know if they could do it, because there's going to be too many casual Timmies just getting shit on by people, you know, doing all the things that we do right now on PC. So Caleb responded to me. So basically, it's not confirmed at all, and he just hinted at their possibility it might happen in the future. I replied to this comment way down the list because I don't have the notifications on or anything. I just pop in these threads every once in a while to see how they're progressing. So Papa comes in again, or Popa. I still think it'd be suicide for Tarkov. Anyone that remembers when PUBG launched on consoles, how long it took the devs to optimize it. Well, when it comes to waiting for shit, we're not really, I'm not even going to say it, but you guys know what I'm thinking, man. I mean, we've been waiting for Streets for, what, 5 years now or some shit? Some of you guys, not me. I've been waiting for like 3. But when it comes to waiting for shit, we're used to that. So that's not really an issue. That would certainly give a handful of people a massive advantage. So that is replying to the keyboard comment about on console. That's not even the biggest issue. How would you possibly put so many inputs into a controller while still making the game feel smooth and snappy? That's true, but, they could figure it out. Console games, from what I understand, are way easier to optimize, so I feel like it would still be smooth and snappy. So Laura comes in again, or Popa. I know a 14-button gamepad can't cover an entire keyboard of commands. Very true. And then Killer responds again. Even if it could, the game would just feel awkward on controller. Absolutely. It absolutely would. There's no way it wouldn't. So then we have me replying to the comment up here. So replying to this comment right here. That's correct. Not confirmed to be coming to console. And then we'll save the parentheses for a second. But I'd say if an opportunity would be or has been presented, that it would be taken extremely seriously by BSG and Nikita. So let's say that Nikita making that PlayStation comment did result in some talks behind the back door. Guys, we could be seeing talks for potentially Russia 2028. So it's very possible that EFT was just used as leverage in any situation. It could be that we could see it for something else, and that's what the parentheses there are for. I personally think Arena is more of a contender over EFT itself. Listen, you put 8 Arena maps on console, you release Arena on console, you keep the servers separate, boom, there you go. You have the EFT gameplay without some of the things that you don't need as much in an Arena where it's faster paced TDM 6v6 gameplay. Guys, Arena is the primetime contender here. I think we're talking about the wrong thing. I think Arena really could shine on console, and it could bring some potentially much-needed revenue to BSG. And I'm not really talking for the sake of Escape from Tarkov at this point. Let's be honest. If you've been keeping up with Battlestate games for a while, Russia 2028 is going to be absolutely incredible. At least I think it's going to be. I think if we take every single thing that we have learned from Escape from Tarkov, and we put all of that knowledge into a brand new title, potentially on a brand new engine that could be way more optimized than Escape from Tarkov currently is, I think that Russia 2028, even if it might not even come out by then, could be, you know, on the same level as a potential Elder Scrolls 6. I mean, that's a game that will probably be waiting for 15 years. You know, Russia 2028 is going to be a very long wait. So I think that Arena is actually what we would see on console if we would see anything from Battlestate games. But at the same time, you know, Tarkov, I think, could go to console and, you know, have keyboard and mouse support for your consoles. But when it comes to controller play, I just don't see it happening. And then the players who are used to controller, don't even get me started on any aim assist. Don't even get me started on any skill-based matchmaking. I would hope that if we would get to console on Tarkov, Arena, Russia 2028, any point in the future, that we don't see some of those, let's call them big AAA money grabs. I hope we never see those. So that has been the discussion of Escape from Tarkov on console. That was the thread that I read through and inspired me to make this video. And now I'm looking for your thoughts. So you can leave them in the comments of this video, or you can head over there to that thread and, of course, reply to that and get involved in the conversation. Hopefully, Killa, Popa, and Shmurda don't mind me hopping in and making a video about their comment thread. I think both of them had points, and then what Popa said, I think there was some accuracy in there. And then the other guy in here, I don't want to leave you out, Almighty Insane. You know, I think this comment holds a lot of weight. I mean, my man commented once out of the entire thread, and I think it definitely has a lot of weight. So the 4 guys comment in this thread, I think you guys made some nice points, and it was, you know, nice enough for me to make a video about it. So I appreciate the support on the channel, my friends, and to everybody else watching who wasn't involved in the conversation, comments down below, baby. What do you think? Leave a like, subscribe, sponsor, and equipment description below. It's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm out.